Hello. Hello. Welcome in. If you're on replay, welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome in. Let me run this real quick. Well, hello. Hope everybody's had a good day. So far, so good, right? Good, good. Yeah, so this was not an anything deep or whatever. I've seen so many people that have been hurt by just online ugliness. And so I wanted to talk about that. Hi, Twist. Thank you for coming in, sweetheart. Anyway, just wanted to have a general discussion. Maybe we could do that on a members live on another time. But I did want to go over this because I don't know about you, but I'm on my phone most of the time. And so I miss a lot of community posts, so I wanted to go over some stuff because if you remember me saying that I actually do research about the stuff that I'm talking about and want to get you guys input and, that we learn together, that kind of thing. And I'm always encouraged to do autistic stuff on autism. And I'm a little reluctant to do that because, like I've said before, autism is a spectrum and everybody's experience is different with it. That we might all be level ones and high functioning, we can have jobs and go to school and the whole 9 yards. But we still have autism and we still struggle. And because our struggles are different, like one person might be completely shy and not want to do any social interaction. Another person might just be a chatterbox. And yes, we tend to overshare. But anyway, so, I told you I'm a little reluctant to do that because I get emails, I get some things. And I put a comment. I got a comment on one of my lives a couple ago that this is typically the stuff that I get. And so I'm going to show you what was said. Hey, Zen1111. Welcome in, sweetheart. And my response to it. So here we go. I put, this is the kind of hate and attacks autistic people receive all the time. And my reply, I typically just delete the hateful comments. But, and yeah, I did just learn that when you report a comment for being hateful and abusive, YouTube automatically deletes it. Thank you, Zen1111. I appreciate it, honey. Okay. So this was the comment. And I'm not sure. Why is it so big? Okay. Let me You can't see the whole thing. So let me see if I can read it here. But the comment says, screw the NeuroSpicy tag. It's called Give Me Attention Now. Trendy wannabes. Funny how it's so prevalent in younger American women and not so much elsewhere in the world. White girl issues. TikTok trendy. Y'all want a diagnosis for Christmas and not much else. Self-diagnosis at that. I want to be somebody. Come pay attention to me. MEEE. I have no friends, so I pay a therapist to talk to me. I have no identity, so I need to tag to keep me feeling like somebody. We just called your type dull and uninteresting, or try-hard types, or in some super special classes, high-strung or high maintenance, always looking for a way to get attention, whether through pity, sympathy, horror, or hilarity. Or hilarity at how desperate it is. And yes, this is how people look at you. Pity, sympathy, horror, and hilarity. So bottom of the barrel, but desperately trying to seem special in some way that it just does not work. So you create this little tribe of desperation and idiocy, waving flags for attention. Truly sad to witness the undoing of America. You're part of the joke that the rest of the world sees it as. You have it so friggin' good, you have to create problems out of thin air and wave it around in pure entitlement and superiority. I can't, LOL. So weary of you all doing this stupid look at me crap. So my response was making comments on a video meant to encourage people and help someone like you understand that empathy and compassion go a long way to help the world be a kinder place to live and for those struggling. It sounds like you struggle in life and could use some kindness. Or perhaps you are an attention seeker with your vitriol. Said, I'll pray for you. Thanks for commenting. So, yeah, hit the like, y'all. Someone needs a Snickers. Yep. Yes, and thank you. I'm gonna give you my guy. My favorite thank you guy.
See what I did? You so totally rock, Squirt! So give me some fin. Noggin.
Dude. I love that guy. Love him. But anyway, so whew. Oh, thank you. Very classy response. So the thing is that when I first read that, I went to this person's YouTube page, and they have just a bunch of shorts. One looked like they were trying to do a TikTok trend, a dance thing, and she just stood there. And a couple of them, it's a young girl. It looks like she's German, Jessica. But one of the posts on her YouTube was a bandaged wrist. And it just said something like, uh-oh, look what I did. And that broke my heart. Because obviously Jessica is having problems. She's struggling to reach out on a totally, because she's not one of my subs. Never seen it before. Maybe a cry for help. Exactly. And so, Jessica, if you happen to stumble across this again, I want you to know, sweetheart, that you're not alone. There's a lot of people out there struggling. I just read something from the Center for Early Childhood Development in England. I follow the royal family. Catherine, Princess of Wales, actually wrote this article. And it's called Human Interaction. This is not where I was going to go tonight, but I'm going to go there now. because I think we need to hear this. I think we need to hear it. So here it is. The Center for Early Childhood is what it's called. Okay, sorry. I was wrong. The power of human connection in a distracted world. The author is Her Royal Highness, the Princess of Wales, in collaboration with Professor Robert Waldinger. What keeps us happy and healthy as we go through life? If you could invest in just one thing that would help you and your family thrive, where would you put your time and energy? These questions might seem simple, but their answers hold profound implications for how we live our lives and raise our children. Science gives us a surprisingly clear answer. The quality of our relationships matter more than most anything else. The Harvard study of adult development, which began in 1938, represents the longest investigation into adult life ever conducted. Over the decades, these researchers studied every major domain of life: mental health, physical health, work, relationships, and aging. After following thousands of people from their teens through their 80s and 90s, examining data from their 20s, 30s, 40s to predict who would stay healthy and live the longest, the researchers discovered something remarkable. Began in 1938, y'all. The best predictor of who would live a happy, healthy life wasn't blood pressure. It wasn't cholesterol levels. It was the quality of their connections with other people. The people who were more connected to others stayed healthier and were happier throughout their lives. Hi, Shibby. And it wasn't simply about seeing more people each week. It was about having warmer, more meaningful connections. Quality trumped quantity in every measure that mattered. Yep, presence over presence. Yes, yes. It makes sense that warmer relationships can make us happier, but how can they also help to protect us from various diseases and health conditions? As other studies began finding the same patterns, scientists started understanding the powerful biological pathways through which human connection influences our health. Much of it relates to what, guys? What does Grandma say all the time? Stress regulation. Good relationships help us to find balance and manage the inevitable stresses of life, preventing them from breaking down our bodies over time. The implications extend across generations. People who develop strong social and emotional skills in childhood maintain warmer connections with their spouses 6 decades earlier or later, even into their 80s and 90s. This demonstrates that these skills are not only teachable, but have a remarkably long-lasting effect. Teaching children to better understand both their inner and outer world sets them up for a lifetime of healthier and more fulfilling relationship. But if connection is the key to human thriving, we face concerning reality. Every social trend is moving in the opposite direction. For the past 70 years, we've been investing less and less in each other, and we are less likely to have dinner together as a family, something we know that has an enormous impact on child development. We are less likely to have friends over, and we are less likely to join clubs and community groups. Jump. We live increasingly lonelier lives, which research shows is toxic to human health. And it's our young people aged 16 to 24 that Jessica is. Hey, Steph B. That report being the loneliest of all. The very generation that should be forming relationships that will sustain them throughout life. I'll drop this in here. The immune system, yes. Aw, thank you, Shibby. No, your presence is the present. You defy that statistic. Hi, Cindy Lean. How are you, honey? I'm just catching up on Only the Lonely. Well, here's the thing. I was thinking about that, okay? I know a lot of us spend a lot of time on social media. Whether we're watching YouTube lives, one back to back to back to back to back, or for hours on end, or we scroll TikTok. My granddaughter calls that doom scrolling. TikTok. Hi, PJ. On TikTok or whatever. But I want you to stop and think. Because like I said at the beginning when I was by myself, that there are so many people that have to take a mental health break from YouTube. These are creators. Some creators need to take a mental health break. But these are subs. They're like, no, I can't do it anymore. Can't do it anymore. We're all going at each other, And so, totally understandable, totally warranted. But I want you to stop and think about yourself. When you're with somebody, do you put your phone away? Are you fully present? There are times when you can sit there and you're both scrolling social media, whatever, reading articles, watching videos. That's fine. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. I call that's kind of the quiet comfort of just being there. But have you ever encountered times when you're watching or reading something and the other person interrupts you? They want to talk to you about what they're reading. I can't believe this article on butter. Can you look what they're saying? Or they want you to come over and watch the cute kitten video. And, you're in the middle of a drama live stream. Oh my God, they're talking about BJ. Oh my God, they're talking about Queen Bee. Whatever. And you get that kind of annoyed feeling that they're interrupting you. And sometimes the other person is talking about something you don't know about and you don't care about. Hey, Oki. Hi, honey. Welcome in. Oki in the house. Well, if we get all of our interactions online, there's no barriers to etiquette or respect. We can't see how we hurt others. We can't feel the energy change when their spirits are crushed by our toxic words. Hi, Yankee Kyle. What's going on, guy? So, like I said, I'm gonna drop this article from Princess Catherine. I hope. Okay. Hope it goes through. I like keeping my phone in my pocket, sitting in a waiting room full of people. Most are staring at their phone, but there's always someone who looks up and smiles. Yes. Oh, good. You're good. You're good. But anyway, the thing that I talk about all the time is be in contact with yourself and your emotions. Understand if it's stressing you out, if you have trouble sleeping because you've just gone through 8 hours worth of live streams on something, and it doesn't have to be YouTube drama. It could be something like you're watching 8 hours of coverage on the war, or you've watched 8 hours of live streams or videos about the government and the deep state or cryptids and things that go bump in the night, whatever you're consuming, be in contact with yourself enough to know if it's causing you harm. If it's causing you harm. And if it is, then stop. I don't get out much, so I don't count. But I catch myself at home without my phone, laptop, binging Netflix. Yeah. Well, PJ, what I do, oh my God, Ed Gein, he's like, that's scary. Yeah, whenever I see like really old, kind of antique, weird looking lampshades, it makes me think of him. But, like Netflix, I mean, my thing, and I found myself doing this recently, is that, and I have totally good reasons, right? So I've been binging The Witcher because season 4 comes out October 31st. And yeah, okay, they replaced Geralt. I know, I know. Liam Hemsworth now. People going boo. But I give myself the excuse that, I want to just refresh my memory so that I can watch season 4 and be on, be on task with what's going on in the story. But then I rewatched both seasons of Wednesday. I've rewatched The Crown and Bridgerton and Downton Abbey over and over and over again. Yeah, you can't do it all in one day. Hey, all right. 5 years being vape free. That's cool. That's very, very cool. Your Wednesday. There was something that bugged me in The Witcher. I can't recall it just yet. Yeah, I think the last season of it when Ciri was in the desert with that unicorn and it was all kind of metaphorical yet not. I don't know. It was weird, but I'm looking forward to it. Why? Because I like the monsters and I like the magic and I like things that sort of look like they're from the medieval times. You'll also be watching, forget what you're watching, go mop your floors. Okay. You know what I found that I've this happened to me, and this is how I kind of count the hours of sleep that I get. Like I did this with The Crown the other night because I was watching The Crown and evidently I fell asleep. And then I woke up and of course it's still playing because Netflix evidently doesn't do that. Are you still watching thing after 2 hours? So I wake up and The Crown's still playing and I have no idea what's going on. Now, mind you, I've seen this thing like 3 times already. But I'll look at it and I'll go, "Oh my god, I'm on season 2, episode 8." The last one I remembered was season 2, episode 2. So that means that I've been sleeping for like 6 hours, right? The floors get dirty again. They do. They can wait. I'm totally down with waiting on floors. But I don't know, it's been hard for me, guys. It's been hard for me. And I like coming here and being with y'all because I think we support one another. We kind of understand each other. We know what's going on and we can understand and love one another. Because life isn't getting easier. Life is getting harder. Oh, I love you too, Twist. Um, but like what Princess Catherine was saying, how important it is for us to interact with people and honest hand to God, the last thing I want to do is people. It's too peoply out there. I don't like peopling, because oh, PJ thinks because you know, I don't know. Probably didn't tell you this, but one night I was driving up to the local gas station. It was at night, and I went in to buy a pack of cigarettes. Yeah, peopling is hard. Um, and so I walk in a little, it's a mom and pop gas station convenience store, and this guy kind of looks like Clue's husband Cletus, slams open the door behind me and starts cussing me out. Called me everything but a Christian woman and said that I had pulled out in front of him. And it really shocked me because I'm a good driver. I'm a really good driver. And I didn't even see this guy. So I'm assuming he was coming up the road that I was turning on, which is kind of like a hill. He must have been flying because I didn't even see him, but God, he cussed me out. And he was like, what do they call that? When they shove their chest out and they're screaming in your face and they're like way too close and all that stuff. And I am an excellent driver. I am. I am an excellent driver. And you can tell my son that I use turn signals. And that's a Lawrence Krauss joke. He killed his parents because one of the signs of aging and his parents' decline is this mom didn't use turn signals anymore. But I apologized to him right there. I was like, God, I'm sorry I didn't even see you. And of course, he just went on and on and on. So I let him go do his thing at the counter first, and he left. And then I went up, to the cashier to get my cigarettes. The cashier's looking at me like totally shocked. And I looked at him and I said, somebody's having a bad night. And he laughed. The cashier laughed. Yeah, it was horrific. It really scared me. Grandstanding? I don't know. There was just peacocking. Okay, could be. Yeah, because this guy was shorter than me. I'm 5'8". Do I carry? No, I do not. No, I do not. Grand peacock standing. That's what we'll call it from now on. Yeah, but so the whole out there with the peopling, it you run into stuff like that. It's not just the jerk drivers. It's the people, I mean, little things, cutting each other off in the checkout line at the grocery store, or oh, I don't know, people who treat the waiters or waitresses rude, like they're somehow, yeah, little man syndrome. You're probably right. Also, the drama gets me. I tried to figure out the psychological aspects of it on YouTube, and it's just an obsession. It seems like a cult type thing how people keep following and not free thinking. PJ, I have a whole thing I'm working on. Oh, I bet you do, Cindy. Oh, you got stories. Yeah. Peopling is not for the narrow-minded, and it's not for the faint of heart. Not really a cult, but it's needed on exam. Exactly. No, I understand. I understand what you're talking about, because if you look at the signs, what creates or defines a cult, a lot of these chats and channels, they fall under them. They fall under cult mentality. But so what I've been trying to do, it does, BJ, a lot of cult aspects. What I've been trying to do is, what I tell you guys all the time. Let's do human better. Let's be the change that we want to see. So I take my grocery cart back to the stall in the parking lot so they don't have to chase them down like they're, errant squirrels running around the parking lot. And try to smile at somebody. I try to make somebody laugh when I'm out. And it makes me feel better. It makes me feel more encouraged. So many want to be accepted. Yeah. Yeah, that's a lot of it with the cult aspects of the whatever. And like I said, I've been doing some research. I'm going to bring it to you guys. I was going to kind of do it tonight, but I don't feel it was like done. Anyway, but it's actually, I'm looking at some Pew Research. The people, all they do are polls and they do studies and things about specific topics. And one of their topics was online harassment. And I have been a victim of that. A target is what they call it. You love people? I do too. I love people. They're delicious. No, just kidding. I don't eat people. Oh, sort of felt like I was exaggerating a bit, but it has a lot of cult aspects. I'm a free thinker, so I have a hard time on YouTube. Yes. I think we all do, honey. Yeah, we get it. We totally get it. And a lot of that is the tribal mentality. And what probably breaks my heart the most is the term is called moral injury. Let me look this up. I'll share it with you guys. Here we go. Ready? So moral injury, and this is AI. Thank you, AI. This is not Chat EBT, though. Let's just Google. Moral injury is a psychological distress that arises from participating in, witnessing, or failing to prevent acts that violate one's moral beliefs or values. It's characterized by intense guilt, shame, and self-doubt. Individuals experience profound feelings of guilt, shame, and doubt about their own moral character and actions. Yes, Chat EBT. Loss of meaning and purpose. Moral injury can lead to a deep sense of loss and meaning and purpose in life, as individuals struggle to reconcile their experiences with their moral framework. Betrayal and loss of trust. Individuals may feel betrayed by authorities, institutions, or even themselves, leading to a loss of trust in others. Intrusive thoughts and nightmares. Similar to post-traumatic stress disorder, individuals may experience intrusive thoughts, nightmares, and flashbacks related to the morally distressing event. This is what I see the most of here. Disassociation and emotional numbness. Some individuals may develop emotional numbness or disassociation as a coping mechanism, making it difficult to connect with their emotions or others. Changes in worldview and beliefs. Moral injury can lead to significant changes in an individual's worldview and beliefs as they grapple with the implications of their experiences. So moral injury is often associated with experiences of war, violence, trauma, medical practice, and other situations that involve moral conflict or transgression. It's important to note that not everyone who experiences a morally distressing event will develop moral injury. However, for those who do, it can have a significant impact on their mental health and well-being. And I'm kind of bringing that up. I tell people to resist fear, hate, and division, to choose peace, love, and empathy before it's too late. Yes. Nah, who wants to be accepted? I'm a rebel. It's better to be a leader than a follower. Yes, it is. But some of that could be that numbness, that apathy that we start to feel because we've experienced so much. We've seen so much. You know, that desire to belong somewhere. It's like when, well, we're just going to use YouTube here. When the YouTube creator you like does something that's like, oh, and you feel it. No, that was not right. That was not right. But then you hear their explanation of why they did the not right thing. And you go, yeah, okay, I can understand that. I can see that. And you don't leave. And just like that frog in the pot of slowly boiling water, by the time it gets to the point where this is bad, we're dying, you might not have the strength to jump. But there are people out there that do have the strength to jump out. And those are the people that leave the channels. The people that you used to see in a channel, maybe they were moderators. Maybe they were on panel all the time. And that person less and less is there. And then they're not there anymore. Sometimes when creators and their people split, there's a big thing. There's videos going back and forth and live streams going back and forth. And sometimes it's not like that. But there's an emptiness, there's a barren place where that person used to be. Jump. Might as well jump. Compromise your morals for a so-called cause. Yeah, no. Nope. And the thing that gets me, okay, and we fall for this all the time. We fall for it all the time because we are so conditioned to believe bullshit. If a person is standing in front of the classroom, or they're on a panel from the YouTube, or they're at a podium in front of the stadium and they're making speeches, we are so conditioned to believe that the words this person is speaking are true. And it's built into us from the time we go through school. The pastor is the guy up front at church, and he's the one with the authority, and what he says must be true. And the president is standing on the podium in front of the White House with the press corps in front of him. What he's saying must be true because somehow or another they got a soapbox. They're up there. They're the ones the camera's pointing at. They're the one person that we're listening to. No, we need to friggin' stop. I'm not sure anyone's doing much for a cause if we're referring to YouTube. Yeah. Sometimes it's a broken heart too. Yep. Yeah, the drama stuff. No, totally know what you mean. Totally know what you mean. I do. And I do appreciate the channels out there that try to be fair, try to show the stupidity of all the things that are going on and all the sides, not taking, specific stance that they're supporting BJ or they're supporting Granny's Watching or they're supporting Queen Bee or, that they're not, they're trying not to be. They're trying just to point out the idiocy of everything. Your filter is off your typing fingers. Ah. Oh, Hoodie. Drive safe, honey. Thanks for coming in. Pearl DeVere said this wonderful thing. She said, it's like trying to type on a phone screen with hooves. Typing with hooves. Hooves. Yeah. And so I look at these things and, I've told you before that I'm on the wrong planet and I'm trying to figure out the humans. So that's how I get into these things, these dilemmas, I want my questions answered. And my biggest question is why? 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 Why do they do this? Who's humany and sweet? Humans. Told you they're delicious. No, I like people. On the whole, I do. I like talking to people. I like being around people. What I don't like is being hurt. And what I really don't like is when I see my friends being hurt. And when I see things that are overtly said that are just wrong. People are so amazing, beautiful, but they seem to be forgetting they are. Yes, they've lost connection with their divinity, with the divine spirit. There might be some out there, so don't quote me on this, but I personally have never met a mean newborn. They come in the world, they might be complaining a lot. Maybe they're cold and they're hungry and oh my God, they're in a different environment. What the fuck? But on the whole, when a newborn is warm and they're fed and they kind of get used to the whole world that they're in, they're happy guys. On the whole, they're just happy little guys. And I use this example all the time because I believe that newborns come into the world perfect. People say that newborns grow neurons every day. No, I believe that they have all their neurons immediately. Hi, Nunya. I think as humans, we make mistakes that can hurt others. Some people may do it intentionally, others may not. But it happens because we are all human. Yes, exactly. We were talking about peopling. And there's a defining line between the people who realize they've done something wrong, they've hurt some people, and then they try to change because they don't want to do that. They don't want to be that person. And then there are other people that are shown these are the behaviors and the things that you're doing or that you did that hurt people, that's causing problems for you and your family, and they hear it and it just goes in one ear and out the other. They don't change. And sometimes if their heart is dark enough, they double down on it. I've seen so many people online just like they just glory. They glory in the fact that they're pissing people off or they're hurting people, and they'll take the smallest thing and twist it. I was watching Chasing last night, and they were talking about BJ had filed a restraining order against Cletus, and in North Carolina, there's the word molest on it. So, of course, there's 852 channels that have to run on that and make it sound like it's SA, like it's some sort of sexual thing. And so Chasing basically looked up the definition in North Carolina, what they're using for this word molest. And molest means to bother. Actually, an Old English rendition of that means to hamper, to get in the way of. And so, she's just trying to clarify for these 852 channels that it has nothing to do, specifically because they've never encountered one another. And then, people go off and attack her. And it's just crazy. In order to change, it has to be a problem to the person hurting others, which sometimes, because each person has their own boundaries, one may think it's fine, while others think it's not okay. And Nunya, there's a lot of people out there that have kind of been mistreated in their life. And I was talking about this article I was reading from the Princess Catherine, Princess of Wales in England, early childhood development. And she was talking about how when we maintain relationships with people, when we have good stress regulation and whatnot, that a Harvard study since 1938 had shown that people who have a deep connection with other people actually are healthier and they live longer. They're more fulfilled. And I'm kind of, you wrote that backwards? Okay, PJ. Because when I was born in the 60s, and this is not hard and fast, not like every parent did this, but the majority of parents where the children were to be seen and not heard. So parents, might have read you a bedtime story and tucked you in and whatnot, but there wasn't a whole lot of communication. There wasn't a building of a relationship. And don't ask me why, but that kind of, when I got older and I had my children, then that was the era of latchkey kids, because things were getting more expensive and women, were independent and were going out, were getting jobs and careers and all that stuff. And kids, when they were old enough, got their own key to the house and let themselves in, and they fed themselves and they sat down, they watched TV, hopefully did their homework and whatnot. And then mom and dad came home and had some time with them. And then the next generation comes along, and my grandchildren, and I see my sons and their wives, since we little ones, plopping in a DVD and letting the kids watch a movie. Then, you let them out in the backyard that's fenced in so they could run some energy off. And then I see people now where there's kids that are in the grocery cart that happens to look like a race car with a steering wheel and everything, and they have their own tablet. I went to a restaurant and the family sitting next to me had 3 kids, probably from, I'd say 6 years to maybe 9 years old. Mom and dad were there. Each kid had their own tablet. And then there was a fight between the kids because evidently somebody was watching something on their tablet. And so the youngest guy grabbed his sister's tablet because he wanted to watch that. And it was a thing. And what I'm seeing is that we need people. And whether it's we go to a church or we go to the knitting, the knitting thing down at the HOA's community center or whatever, it doesn't have to be, a face-to-face kind of thing. I think that's the ultimate. But we do need to establish relationships. We do need to have enough of a relationship with someone that we extend grace to each other when we screw up. we tell each other that was really messed up. And have a strong enough commitment and love to one another that we're willing to sit there and listen to that. And I just don't see that. I don't know. I don't see that. What are we saying? Molested could mean as simple as a ruffled surface, but the public school system is failing intentionally because an ignorant population is easier to divide, conquer, manipulate, and exploit. It's a whole plan. Shibby, I believe it is. I'm not going to go into my tinfoil hat right now about population control and mind control and all that stuff. But I'm just seeing too many people. All right, it's toxic. So I'll be back here tomorrow. I'm going to do this online harassment and the human interaction thing I've been telling you about. And I think it's got some pretty good points talking about that human interaction and how maybe being anonymous and behind an avatar emboldens us to do some things, because the worst thing in the world on the interwebs, on the YouTubes, is to be doxxed, right? Yeah, because that's do they know not how to look up laws? Chasing did they? Yeah. People just say it's something else. Exactly. It doesn't matter what the truth is. Hey, this isn't full blown tinfoil hat, but man, I've got such a Jonesin, not Jonesin, Soup's #1 fan account, but I have such a Jones to be talking about some stuff. Oh my God. Smart dust, mRNA in your dental floss. You have no idea. But anyway, so yeah. If you haven't yet, please hit like. I appreciate that. And if you're on the replay, if you could hype, that would be great. Oh my God. I got to show you this. Have you seen the hype feature? Have you seen it? Let me see. I got to find it. Here it is. Open. So it's a thing for creators under, 400,000? That if you hype it right now, it's free. I'm sure they're going to start charging for it. But right now, if you hype it, it actually increases it out into the algorithm and helps other people see it and grow channels. And, YouTube gets more money and blah, blah, blah. So I went to hype. Jonesing for a fix. Exactly. Oh, I'm accurate. Look up history and education. Yes, I'll find it interesting. So here's the thing, right? So I go to hype this video and it says, no, you've already hyped 3 times this week. Not able to hype. Really? They're going to limit my hyping? Yeah, it is something good for them. But then I'm told I can only hype 3 times a week. It's like crazy. It's crazy. Oh, you thought Lady K blocked you for giving you the bird? No, we love the bird here. Aw. Yes, we do. It's part of the love language. It's enough to say, fuck you, you're wrong. I love you. I've reached my maximum hypes. Yes, no more hyping for me. And I guess you could call that hyperactivity. I don't know. Stop, Grandma. Anyway, so this wasn't a whole big thing. Just want to talk about some oral injury. And, I got too hyped. Shh. I love the dad jokes then. Thanks. Yeah. I I think we need to dig into this a little bit more because as we have these channels calling out the obsessed dogpiling, harassing, bullying channels, and also calling out the victim, the target channels for what they're doing wrong. If we can get more balanced voices out here and get the message out to the subscribers, to the viewers, I think we can change our community. Because I really believe that down deep, everybody, wants to get along. There's nothing wrong with a little bit of drama. That's why we invite, Uncle Randy over for Thanksgiving. There's got to be a little drama somewhere, right? But yeah, more balanced voices would be amazing. But until you're out of the social media loop, oh good, honey, stay there. Just stay on the outskirts there. If you want to give a less settled bird, use a cactus. Really? Yeah, okay, I see that. YouTube cult. Bad. Balance. Good. Yes. Yeah. Intelligent conversations. And the thing is, when you have intelligent conversations or you try to bring up things that might make somebody do some introspection and, maybe change and do something differently, that's usually when you get attacked the most. Oh, hang on just a second. It's friendlier. It is. I usually use like a bird, a literal bird, a bird emoji. Hang on. I sent this to a friend of mine last night. It says, oh, yeah, cactus. You know what I say about the cactus and the disease cactus? When I'm really angry with people, they can use that as a pleasure toy. Okay, so this thing says, people will admire your depth until it's time to swim in it. They'll praise your wisdom until it holds them accountable. And they'll love your light until it exposes their shadows. Oh, yes, should be starting a trend. The cactus. Your people? Yes, you are people, honey. You're the people that want the world to be a nicer place. That, anybody who thinks that I'm trying to advocate for, just this perfect wolves laying with lambs kind of kumbaya thing in the world, you're screwed up because that ain't real. It's not real. Sorry. But what I do want to see is people getting angry at somebody else and calling them out for something wrong and then moving on, getting over it. There's a couple things. They did something wrong against you, you get pissed off, you yell at them, you move on and forget about it. Or you forgive them and you're willing to show them some empathy and whatever. But the thing about, oh my God, can you get blocked for a cactus? No, I don't think so. Yeah, the name calling. I'd like to see that happen. I'd like to see the thing, and Nunya's good at this. People will be calling her out and going, sanctimonious, and then Nunya will pop up on their panel and they'll have a talk about it. And sometimes it's kind of worked out and sometimes they leave with a very polite fuck you, but whatever the case is, that people are willing to talk to each other about it. I would prefer it happens in the back end privately. I don't think that everything has to be all out there. But then again, there's creators that are falling asleep and showing boobs. So I don't know. To each their own. I usually watch the bushes. Yes. Yeah. Go in different chats and get along with people. And here's the thing that I think everybody has kind of forgotten, that you could absolutely loathe a creator, think they are the worst kind of garbage, inhumane, vile, gutter snipe, trashy person on the planet. You can go into their chat and say hi to people that you know, respectfully tell the other person that they're full of crap. But you can also, they might say something that they agree with, that you agree with. It's not so black and white. And that's where comprehension and critical thinking and discernment come in. And it's so lacking. Who's showing boobs? No, you don't want to know. We used to talk it out before we weren't allowed to think for ourselves. Exactly. And that's what it boils down to, Twist, doesn't it? If you have your own opinion and you're not going along with the party propaganda and the narrative that, 100%, then obviously you have to die now. I had to step away and I was listening. You miss boobs? No boobs. Nobody said anything about boobs. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know, guys. But you know what? You guys help me so much. Because I come on here and I go, okay, look, this is what I found. Maybe I think it's some of this. And then you guys give me feedback. Nobody's boobs. Stop talking about boobs. Guys. I love a certain creator. I loathe. Blocked. But I didn't go into his lives anyway anymore. And I have one I really like that has me blocked, and it makes me sad. Well, email them. No. Well, okay. So just, a real quick Cliff Notes thing. Somebody named Moon said something about Soup's avatar has saggy boobs. And then it was brought up that evidently, are we getting flagged for boob? I don't know, are we? And then somebody brought up that this other creator, Moon, was doing like sleep streams or something. And evidently there was a wardrobe malfunction and there was some memory glands that were seen. And so, yeah, we're talking about boobs. Are you guys happy? Boobs. Do I have boobs on my block list? I might. I have some words on my hold for review list. I don't know. But anyway, okay, now I don't want to talk about Soup's boobs. Don't want to talk about Moon's boobs. I'm not a boob talking kind of gal. Yeah. But anyway, so okay, I'm over my hour. Gosh dang it. But thank you. Thank you for helping me through these things. Thank you for helping me not feel alone like I'm some sort of crazy weirdo. No, it's PJs. I love you guys so much. But yeah, thank you that, I don't feel quite so crazy when I talk to you guys. Yeah, we all enjoyed the boob talk. We'll be honest. Okay, we enjoyed the boob talk. But so let's try to human better. Okay? Let's try to just be kinder and more understanding. And, it doesn't mean you're a doormat. All right? Because you can have tough love, you can love people from afar. Two things can be true at the same time. It's like Oh, really? I'll check my words, Steph. Oh, thank you. Love you, Cindy. Yeah, be good to humans. It's not that hard. Let's do human better. And if you are having questions or issues or whatever, there's helplines in my outro, on my video description, everyone in my about section. There are hyperlinks take you directly to the website. If you're having issues, with LGBTQIA, keep your head up. Parasocially love you too, honey. Exactly. Yeah, Cindy, the whole meat suit experience. That's all it is. But yeah, so if you need to, you can come here, find a helpline. I'm gonna go now. I'm gonna go. Thank you all for being here. I do appreciate it. Zen, thank you again, for helping to support Grandma's lifestyle. The lifestyle of the rich and famous. No, but I might actually meet the $100 payout. I don't know. Usually just happens every 2 or 3 months. I have to gather it up. But I am trying to be live more often. I want to be here cuz I want to talk to you guys. I don't know. Love and light. Okay, I saw that. Thank you, Steph. Love you guys. Okay, Shibby, you with the boobs and the cactus emojis. I see what you're doing here. Twist Steph. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. Here's my guy.
See what I did? You so totally rock, Squirt! So give me some fin. Noggin. Dude.
Okay, fine. Bye. Leave. You're still here? Go away. No, you hang up first. No, you hang up first. No, you hang up first.